You know, I was saying during the last event, the forum, that over the last decades, there's been a tendency to assume that racism belongs only to certain parts of the world. It used to be the US and South Africa were the two spots on the planet that we could point to where racism was deeply anchored. And now we know that racism is everywhere. Racism has been internationalized, and the wonderful film that we saw during the last session, Repli, demonstrates the way in which structural racism has become a part of French culture. I don't want to give an entire speech. I have just a couple of minutes, but I do want to thank you for watching these films and for feeling them deeply and for thinking deeply about what might be done in order to make our world more habitable for generations to come. There was a question during the last session, and I'll end my brief remarks by referring to that question. And the question was, where is hope? When we look at the world around us, we look at all of the police violence, the racist police violence, which is the theme of the last section when we saw the film Le Repli. When we look at war, when we look at what is happening in Gaza at this moment, I was so very moved by the remarks regarding Life is Good, the filmmaker of Life is Good, that the violence is unfolding as we speak, as we gather together this evening. And the question I was referring to was about hope. Where is hope in a world in which it appears that each time we move forward, there's also a backwards pull? And I said to those who were present at that section that I'm always inspired by something that an activist in the US by the name of Mariam Kaba has said. And she points out that hope is not something that is simply there. Hope has to be created. Hope has to be produced. It has to be generated. And that is the work of those of us who are dedicated to attempting to fashion at least the possibility for a better world, a better future. That our most profound duty is to generate hope, to pass down to the next generation. And hopefully that generation will produce hope that will be offered to the following generation. That is why we are here today, because there have been so many before us who have not given up, who have refused to believe in the impossibility of hope. And so I thank you once again for listening to my brief intervention, and we're all in this together, and let us continue to struggle. Thank you very much.